There are upwards of 90,000 people here on Melbourne Cup Day. We just had the delivery of the Cup to the mounting yard by Cup Ambassador Michelle Payne. We then had a spine-tingling rendition of Born to Try from Delta Goodrem before John Stevens played afterwards, and of course then the national anthem with all the jockeys on display. There are so many great storylines in this year's Melbourne Cup, Marto. Of course, I touched on Damien Oliver in his final Melbourne Cup 10 years after he won his last one. Can he get it done? Of course, we've got international raiders, including Vauban and the stablemate Absurd. And Mark Zara, the champion jockey from last year's edition, of course, choosing to jump off Gold Trip and instead go with Without a Fight, who's on the third line of betting with us. Has he made the right call? Only time will tell here, Marto. To the marketplace, and Vauban continues to be the best backed with us at Tab, despite being very easy here late in the trade. Marto was put up 360 final fields. Touched $6, back to $5.50, is now at $6 again. Gold Trip, last year's winner, is on the second line of betting, had been as much as $8 just moments ago, into 7, now $7.50. Without a Fight is there at 8, as is Absurd, who's one of the big movers here. $21 was the early price. It's now into 8. Solcombe is a $9.50 chance in from 11, and at longer odds, there's a couple worth mentioning here. Future History went up $31 final fields, is now $18, and Military Mission is clearly the worst way with Tab. $41 the early price. Today, $23 into 19, back to $26. But it should be a fantastic edition of the 2023 Lexus Melbourne Cup, Marto. Very much looking forward to it, as in about 17 minutes' time, we will have crowned this year's winner of this edition of the race.
And on Sky Racing 1, we are rapidly approaching the 2023 Melbourne Cup over the famous 2 miles at Flemington. A race, of course, that Bart Cummings made his own, Brad.
Oh, he certainly did, Marto. 12 wins in the Cup. What a champion he was, Bart Cummings, and so many great memories. Have a look at that there, 1861, as you said. $8.4 million in prize money up for grabs. 9 international winners. Of course, the great Bart Cummings, the 12 wins as a trainer. Bobby Lewis and Harry White lead the way as jockeys there at 4 wins each, so that's a terrific effort. Few there just behind them, but winning favourites, 34 in the race as well.
And the Cup has, of course, provided so many historic moments. Here's a snapshot of just some of them. Michelle Payne's win on Prince of Penzance. Gay Waterhouse won it with Fiorente Viewed, the last of 12 for Bart Cummings. Makybe Diva won 3. Vintage Crop, the international trailblazer. Kiwi came from last. Far Laps on the honour roll, and Archer won the first 2.
Yeah, and I still remember listening to Might and Power at school as well, and him getting over the line in the Cup, and Makybe Diva, her third Melbourne Cup. That is still, I still get goosebumps thinking about it.
Where a champion became a legend. Well, you're tipping a legend to be born here Without a Fight, who of course is looking to become the 12th horse to do the Cup stubble. Here's the replay of the Caulfield Cup.
Yeah, and I know it's hard to do in recent times, Marto, but look, I thought he was terrific this day. Keep an eye on him. There's Gold Trip. Keep an eye on Solcombe just behind them as well. He closes off really well. But look, this was a really strongly run Caulfield Cup, so I thought he did a terrific job here to just keep coming and coming. A lot of people are questioning whether he'll run out the 2 miles, but his wins over 2,800 overseas are terrific. I thought he was great. I thought Solcombe was good there. I know he missed the start 16th, so I know he's your top tip for the race.
He is indeed. He was trucking in beautifully on the turn and then got caught out and then got going again late, so he's my top pick, just for the record. Your second pick is Vauban. Can it give Willie Mullins his first?
Well, he's been so close, hasn't he? He's had, 7 or 8 runners in the race. He's finished 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 6th or something like that. So he's been all around the mark. They reckon this is their best chance. His wins overseas are terrific. His track work's been elite out here. He's going to be hard to beat. Absurd, the stablemate. He won the E-ball with 60.5. He sat wide, no cover. He's going to stay all day. Thought this was the best roughie in the race. Future History. Love his winning strike rate. Love his upside. He's got Flemington form. He's ready to go.
Righto, Brad, let's go from the top and go runner by runner. We're 8 minutes away. Gold Trip is the defending champ. Won it last year by 2 from Emissary and High Emotion. Carries a kilo more today, $7.50 this morning. Late 8 into 7, back to $7.50 with a tab fixed.
Yeah, going as well this year, Marto, as last year, if not a little bit better. And I think the fact that the track's playing a little bit softer than we all thought is really going to help his chances as well. He comes right into contention with that track coming up softer than we thought. And look, he's going to stay the trip. We know that. He loves Flemington. His Turnbull win here was amazing. He's going to be hard to hold out.
Alan Kerr's been battling a foot abscess, cleared by the vets to run here. Near side blinker's been removed. Of course, Damien Oliver, last ever Melbourne Cup. He's won 3 of these. Bobby Lewis and Harry White, as we saw on the mega screen, have the record with 4 each. 41 into 31, Spec with the tab.
Yeah, look, obviously, as you said, past that fitness test, his recent form has been okay. He would need to improve, but he's getting better with every run this campaign. I think he'll stay the trip, and Damien Oliver, good luck to him in his last cup. Look, long odds, and for a reason, but he might be able to sneak a top 10.
Your top pig is without a fight, $7 this morning, now $8 with the tab fix. Ran 13th in this last year when trained by Simon Crisford.
Yeah, it was just too wet for him there, but all his form this year has been terrific. His Caulfield Cup win was outstanding. I would have liked to see him parade a touch better. He was a bit keen in the mounting yard. Hopefully he doesn't do that. Hopefully he relaxes well. He needs a good ride, but if he gets it, I think he'll stay, and I think he's the horse to beat.
For Japan, breakup. Second start in Australia, $19 into 17, just back out to $18. Group 2 winner in Japan.
Yeah, he is, and he ran 4th in the 10-0 show over there at Group 1 level over 3,200, which is an elite 3,200 metre race in the world. Beware the Japanese horse. They won the Golden Eagle on Saturday, and their stayers are very, very good. He was a bit disappointing in the Caulfield Cup, but he travelled up like he was going to win the race. It's all been destined towards this. I think he'll jump out of the ground today.
Vauban a bit soft, was $3.60 in the early trade, $4.60 this morning. It gets out to $6. Smart Irish horse on debut in Australia.
Yeah, look, the good news for him is he seems to have handled the parade really well. There was a bit of a concern around him losing and falling to pieces in the mounting yard. Well, so far it's good news there. He's got the form overseas. He only beat Valiant King by a length and a half, and that horse was beaten 5 lengths, but his win at Ascot back in June was outstanding. He beat Absurd by 7.5. He draws well. He's got one of the world's best jockeys aboard, and he's been set for this race for 18 months.
Speaking of one of the world's best jockeys, Joe Moreira, partners Salcombe for Chris Waller, 10 out to 11 into $9, and Joe's chasing his first win in the Melbourne Cup.
He is, yeah. Look, he's a sensational jockey. Blinkers come off, synthetic hoof filler off. They just got to get him out of the gates, this horse. He missed the jump 6 lengths in the Caulfield Cup, beaten 5.5. If he jumps, he's going to be hard to beat. He loves Flemington. He's been a Melbourne Cup horse for some time. You'll know your fate in the first 2 seconds.
Stablemate of Vauban is Absurd, very popular. $21 in the early trade. This morning it was $10. It's into $8.50. Just out from $7.50 late though.
Heavily backed, wasn't he? Won the Ebor, 3 wide no cover with 60.5 kilos, if you don't mind, at York. Heartbreak City won that race in 2016 and ran 2nd in the Melbourne Cup. He was well held behind Vauban mid-year and hasn't worked as well as Vauban recently, but respecting the move all the same.
Right You Are is $34 into the $23 range. Just back out to $31. Wasn't bad when close to the speed in the Caulfield Cup.
Yeah, he ran well there. Better than market expectations, beaten 4 lengths behind without a fight. Will he stay the trip? Is he quite good enough? I'm probably going to say no, but maybe a top 10 hope.
Vow and Declare, 26 out to 31. Back into 26. He's chasing his second Cup win 4 years after the first, and no horse has ever done that.
Yeah, 2019. That was a terrific ride that day. He just got there and got the cash, but I reckon he's going just as well as that year. He's running the Caulfield Stakes, was a cracker. He hit the line powerfully in the Moonee Valley Gold Cup. Of course, he's won this race before, 53 kilos, with a bit of luck from the gate. Wouldn't surprise me if he did it again.
Ash Run has had 3 runs back from an almost 3-year break. $34 into about 21, back out to $26. Placed in the Geelong Cup last time out.
Yeah, he started the same price in the Melbourne Cup back in 2020 when 10th behind Twilight Payment. He's been a really good horse for some time, but unfortunately been on the sidelines for injury for the last few years. He's 3 runs back. He's been getting better and better with every run. He hit the line nicely in the Geelong Cup, and if he's fit enough here, he could run a race at 3,200.
Dishan Sweet Junior, number 12, 71 into 51, back out to $61. Ran 6th in this race last year to Gold Trip.
Yeah, and he's just an absolute 3,200 metre horse. He won an Adelaide Cup. He ran 6th in this race, as you said, last year, and his run in the Herbert Power was good. The team are confident he's going better than last year. I think he's a knockout place hope.
Akita Sushi is 81 into 61, back to $71 for Joseph O'Brien, who's already won 2 Melbourne Cups.
Yeah, exactly right. He knows what it takes to win a Melbourne Cup. You've got to respect the horses he brings out here. He was a bit disappointing in the Caulfield Cup, beaten 10 lengths, but he hit the line okay. His win at Ascot back in June is good enough to be in the finish here, so he might be a mad roughie to include.
Another roughie is Shiraz, 101 into about 81, but back out to $126. Wasn't beaten far in the Moonee Valley Cup and is placed at 2 miles.
Yeah, look, I think he's a really good stayer, and it could be a race where they go from a fairway out here and make it a real staying test. I'm not sure if he can win, but he ran 2nd in the Sydney Cup last year. He's running the Moonee Valley Gold Cup, was solid. I think he's a top 10 hope.
La Stochka is $18 out to $26. Just back in from $31 late. French import on Australian debut. A lightly raced 5-year-old mare.
Yeah, she's small as well, they say. Very small mare. They like the wide gate for her because they don't want her in between runners because she's so small. They don't want her copping any bumps. Really good at Longchamp before coming out here. That French form stacks up. The fact this sting out of the track's important for her because she likes wet ground, so she'll be storming home.
Another of the Waller runners is Magical Lagoon for Mark Duplessis, $101 out to $126. Imported Irish mare. This is its 6th Australian start.
Going okay. Was beaten a length in the Geelong Cup last time out. There are a lot better runs in the race, however. I've got a sort of last pick for me, but look, it wouldn't surprise me if she ran okay, but not for me.
Rachel King combines with Waterhouse Bot Military Mission, 23 this morning, late 19 back out to 26, won the Herbert Power. 6 horses have won that, then the Melbourne Cup double in the same year.
Yeah, the format of that race hasn't stacked up this year, but he's tough as nails, this horse. He'll get himself close to the speed. He'll keep plugging away, and he might not have the class to win a Melbourne Cup, but Gai Waterhouse and Adrian Bott are absolutely airborne. They'll have him cherry ripe and they'll give him every chance.
And they saddle up Serpentine as well, which draws the inside. 41.51 back to $41 is the 2020 Epsom Derby winner.
Yeah, and look, he's been going great guns with big weights. He's been set for this race. Barrier 1, 51 kilos, gets a good run. He can be there.
Virtuous Circle, 126, came into around 81, back out to $126. Group 1 Derby places a 3-year-old and not going quite as well now.
Yeah, luckless in the Bart Cummings, but he was disappointing in the Geelong Cup. He'll need to improve a fair bit.
More Felons is 26 into 23. It's been spec. 2nd Australian start for Chris Waller. Close up 5th in the Geelong Cup.
I think he's a good roughie. He loved his run in the Geelong Cup. Best last 200 performance of the day there when you adjust for distances. He was the eye catcher there. He's got form around Vauban and Absurd overseas, and he'll eat up 2 miles.
I know you give Future History a big chance. $19 very solid. 3 horses have done the Bart Cummings Melbourne Cup double. The latest was our Mandate in 2016.
Yeah, this is the best roughie in the race. I loved his Bart Cummings win. He just produced a performance that said this horse will run 3,200 metres. He was good in the Moonee Valley Gold Cup when ridden quiet. I expect him to be more aggressive here. He's got Flemington form, 50 kilos. He's won 6 from 16.
Interpretation, 81 into 51 has been specced on a 6-day backup.
Yeah, he was luckless in the Bart Cummings and then won the Bendigo Cup. He was real dour there as well, so I think you'll see the 3,200 metres. He could be a rough top 4 hope.
And Carla Paul, we saw win the Archer Stakes at Flemington here on Saturday, 41 to 61, back to $51.
He really revved it up from the 800 metres there as well, so it was a strong staying performance. Some of these horses on the quick backup really react to it, so he can go forward and run well.
And True Marvel, 101 out to 126, carries the 24 saddlecloth. An 8-year-old, 3 8-year-olds have won the Cup.
Yeah, well, one thing about this horse, he does nothing really outside 3,200 metres. That's a bit harsh to him, but recently anyway. Look, his Sydney Cup run early this year was outstanding at massive odds. He ran second and gave a massive fright there. Look, he could be one for exotics. He'll run the trip.
In the last 15 minutes with the bookmakers, Vauban the favourite, 5 to 550. Gold Trip looking to go back-to-back, 750 into 7 without a fight. Brad's on top of 8, 750 back to 8. Absurd is 950 into $8, back out to $9. Solcombe, 950 into 9, back to 950. The rest double figures. Little nibble for Future History, 19 to 21, back into $20. Absurd has been attracting very good interest from the opening of trade.
Yeah, it has been all week, hasn't he? He's $21, and I think it was probably was it Sunday or Monday, the money come, and he's into $10, and then it's just been relentless ever since. So really respecting. I mean, I saw Vauban and Absurd gallop the other day down the Flemington Straight. Dead set looked like one was a maiden and one was a Group 1 horse, and Vauban just went away from him like he was standing still. But you got to respect Willie Mullins, bring him out here. He will stay. He was wide no cover in that E-bore, and yeah, look, I'm respecting that money for a champion jockey. Zach Burton aboard.
And of course, this is the last time that we'll see Damien Oliver in a Melbourne Cup. He's won 3 on Fiorente, Media Puzzle, Unforgettable, Doremus. He's riding Alan Kerr, $26 and solid with the bookmakers. If he wins, he'll join Bobby Lewis and Harry White with a record equalling 4th Cup.
Yeah, it'd be an amazing story, wouldn't it? Damien Oliver in his last Cup. So good luck to Ollie. I thought the horse was short enough at $26, but maybe a bit of parochial money there. It'd be a fantastic story, and I'm sure he'll give it every possible chance.
You're on topper without a fight. Where do you hope to see it in the run?
Look, he's going to have to go back, I would imagine. Just try to get into that 3 wide line somewhere, get him to relax, switch off. I think that's where you want to be in the Melbourne Cup. You just want to be in that 3 wide running line, coming towards the turn and really coming down the middle of the straight late. So he's going to have to give the likes of Vauban a bit of a start. There's no doubt about that, but you'll know your fate with him early early. If he gets caught forward, no cover, it's game over.
Damien Oliver would be a great story. So would Vow and Declare. He's having his 4th start in the Cup, won in 2019, 18th in 2020 and 10th last year.
Yeah, phenomenal, isn't it? He's been a warrior, this horse, and a terrific stayer. I wouldn't say he got away with the Cup 4 years ago, but it was just a perfect ride. Everything went right for him, but he lost his way there for a year or two, and now he's back to his best, and he's absolutely flying. So be another great story if he was to win a second Cup.
And another great story would be a maiden Group 1 in a Melbourne Cup for Dan Stackhouse on Dishan Sweet Jr. or Zach Lloyd on Carlapour.
Yeah, and look, both horses should stay the trip. Dishan Sweet Jr. is just a 3,200 metre horse if I've ever seen one. The harder they go, the better it is for him. If you're looking for a mad roughie, he's definitely not the worst here because he will see out the 3,200 metres.
And of course, 9 overseas entrants have won the Cup before and 6 had raced in Australia before.
Yeah, I always prefer them to have a run here first. The internationals, of course, the favourite hasn't, and we've seen in recent years you don't need to do that, that's for sure. But I do like them to have a run here. Just gets those fitness levels up a touch. But a little bit of late rallying there, Marta, with Vauban. He was right out the gate, wasn't he? But 550, he's just steadying up a bit there late. And
further supported odds for future history with the bookmakers, 19 out to 21, back into $18 in your mix, and it's Gators on topper.
Yeah, he needs to find a length or two. There's no doubt about that. But it's grand final day. He's lightly raced. He's going to get a good run on speed. He's got a good jockey aboard in Holly Doyle, and he's only had 16 starts. So you can look at it both ways. Is he seasoned enough? Maybe not. But on the other side, we haven't seen his ceiling yet, and he's got big peaks to come. So with all that in mind, I'm going to go that side and say he's going to run the race of his life today.
So without a fight as you're on topper, it's one of 6 to come through the Caulfield Cup. It's always been a great traditional lead-up.
Yeah, and I think if you look at the Caulfield Cup, I mean, Gold Trip copped a bit of a check at the top of the straight and was good, but without a fight was running away from him at the end, and I thought the other good run in the Caulfield Cup was a horse like Solcombe, who missed the start 6 lengths and was beaten 5.5. Of course, it all depends on how well he jumps. Chris Waller's a master at getting them to get over those habits, so we'll see if that comes to fruition today and he can get away with the field somewhere, because if he misses at 3 lengths and he's out the back door again, it's a long way to come from last in a Melbourne Cup. So his fans will be hoping he gets out of those barriers, but for without a fight, it's just about getting cover early. It's about switching the horse off and giving him every possible chance to see out the 2 miles.
So they're just waiting for Absurd to get to the barrier stalls. That's the reason for this delay. We're now 4.5 minutes behind start time. What sort of speed are we expecting here, Brad?
Look, I think they'll roll along. There should be decent enough tempo in the race this year. There's going to be a few horses that roll forward. I expect Serpentine to be up there early on. Vauban won't want to get behind too many. He's a horse that needs to get free rolling and get a bit of fresh air. So he's not going to want to be back sort of 3-4 back the fence from that lowish draw. So the key with him is he's going to have to get up there early, get on speed. There'll be a few that'll come across from out wide. So look, I think they'll roll along, and I think they'll build it up from probably the 800 metres. There's quite a few speed horses drawn out a little bit wider, but of course the great thing about this is you've got that big run to the first turn, about 800-900 metres, so they'll get plenty of times to find their spots before getting to the first turn.
Of course, steeped in history, this is the 163rd running, first run in 1861 for 710 gold sovereigns. It's now worth $8.4 million, making it the richest 2-mile race in the world, with the winning connections to pocket a cool $4.4 million. The 2023 Melbourne Cup, as we head to Flemington to call his 7th Cup. Here's Matt Hill.
A horse that bowed a tendon early in its life. The Melbourne Cup has always been on the calendar for this horse, and Right You Are goes in. The Japanese horse Breakup will be one of the next to load up as Vauban goes forwards, the favourite into barrier number 3. Vauban about to come along. Also joining them is Military Mission, who's drawn a good gate here, has the services of Rachel King with that big Group 1 here on Saturday. So they continue to load without a fight with Mark Zara, who won the race last year, looking to be the 12th horse to win the Caulfield Cup Melbourne Cup double. Breakup is in to barrier number 18. Vow and Declare, the first horse since Malua to run in the race 4 years after winning it. The 8-year-old Vow and Declare goes into the stalls with Billy Egan. More Fallons milling around. Also about to join the Magical Lagoon for Mark Duplessis. Shiraz, one of the bolters. True Marvel, who's also at 150 to 1 here, waiting its turn. As Lastochka, the French mare, with Craig Williams, looking to win the Melbourne Cup again, waits her turn. Magical Lagoon just digging the heels in at the moment. So a couple of these horses just a little bit stirred up in these windy conditions out there at the 3,200 metre start. Vauban, the favourites, $5.70 pari-mutuel, but Gold Trip at $6. So we've still got 4 or 5 to come along. Deshaun Sweet Jr. is one of those. Now Shiraz with young Beau Mertens, trained by Chris Waller, who won this race with Very Elegant 2 years ago. True Marvel now, very relaxed indeed, goes in. So Deshaun Sweet Jr. and also More Fallons are going to be the final couple, with also Ash Run, Karen McAvoy, who's won this race 3 times with a white distinguishing cap. So they're just about right for the 163rd time, Melbourne, the running of the Lexus Melbourne Cup. Deshaun Sweet Jr. goes in. More Fallons goes up to the outside. And the field is set to run. Ready to go. And they're racing. And Soulcombe stood there again and missed it by about 3 lengths this time. Beginning well towards the inside was Magical Lagoon, with also Serpentine, and not too far away Absurd, and also Vauban. Out deeper on the track, Future History, and also Right You Are coming over, and also Vow and Declare is 4 and 5 deep, and at this point of the race is about 2 off the lead and trying to push up from Carla Poor. They were followed next in the field by In Between Horses, True Marvel. Military Mission is next, and just ahead of it is Absurd, and also Vauban along the inside. Next is Gold Trip as they come down the straight with just over a lap to go. Next is Lastochka, who's 4 deep around Shiraz and Without a Fight. They were followed by Ash Run, Break Up, Interpretation, Soulcombe. Towards the back, More Fallons, and also Akita Sushi, and 2 further back is Virtuous Circle at the tail of the field. As they leave the running, the leader Serpentine by a length. In second, Future History. Third is Magical Lagoon, and Vow and Declare 4th, 1 off the fence. 2 lengths to Right You Are and Vauban, followed by Absurd. Carla Poor is 3 wide. Next along the inside is Gold Trip, Lastochka. In Between Horses, Military Mission, and Even Speed in the Cup from Alan Kerr. They were followed 1 off the fence by Deshaun Sweet Jr. True Marvel 3 wide. Well back, Without a Fight, Ash Run, Shiraz. Next along the inside, Soulcombe, Break Up, Interpretation. Towards the back of the field, More Fallons, Akita Sushi, and last of all, Virtuous Circle. 1,700 metres to go in the Lexus Melbourne Cup. Serpentine is the leader. From on the outside, Carla Poor, and Future History is third. A length and a half, Magical Lagoon, and also Vow and Declare, and they get away at this stage as they reach the 1,500 metres. They're 4 lengths in front of Right You Are and Vauban, saving every inch of ground. A length and a half, the stablemate Absurd, and then came Gold Trip. A length away, Lastochka is 3 wide at this stage, and then came Military Mission. A length away in the field is True Marvel, and then came Alan Kerr. Deshaun Sweet Jr. Without a Fight. Shiraz well back in the field, well back 2/3 down as Ash Run, Soulcombe, and Break Up, and they were followed by More Fallons as they string right out at the 1,000 metres. Akita Sushi is well back in the field as well, and towards the back, Interpretation and Virtuous Circle. So it's Serpentine running this along very solidly midway towards the 800 metres. It's a true staying test by 2 lengths to Carla Poor and Future History. Vow and Declare is nice and close, 3 or 4 off them. They were followed by Right You Are. Vauban's only about 4 or 5 off them. Absurd the outside. Gold Trip is tanking through, needs runs. Deshaun Sweet Jr.'s wedging through them, and Alan Kerr, plenty of hopes around the corner into the straight in the Lexus Melbourne Cup. And here's Vauban on the outside of Future History, and Vow and Declare between them. Absurd is also chiming in. 400 metres to go. It's Absurd moving up on the outside for Zach Purden. A length in front, but with Without a Fight is running on right down the centre of the track. Without a Fight up to Absurd Vow and Declare and Shiraz the bolter. It's Without a Fight, 100 metres to go, 2 or 3 lengths in front, coming away from Shiraz and also Sulcombe. Without a Fight, Mark Zara, a Melbourne Cup champion, wins it by 2 lengths. Second in the race was Sulcombe, third Shiraz. They were followed by a photo for fourth, Ash Run to Sean Sweet Jr. Then Interpretation. Next in the field, Vow and Declare from More Fallons. Absurd ran a race, Break Up, Military Mission. Well back in the field then Akita Sushi in company with Future History Listotchka. Well back Alan Kerr with Carla Poor, Vauban. Then came Magical Lagoon Serpentine. One of the last to complete the course was Gold Trip, and Virtuous Circle was the last and being pulled up at the 200 metres. Right you are. Without a Fight becomes the 12th horse to win the Caulfield Cup Melbourne Cup double. Without a Fight is the winner at $9 and $3.30 from Sulcombe second, Joe Moreira for Chris Waller, and Shiraz number 14, Bo Mertens for Chris Waller. It is Without a Fight the winner of the Lexus Melbourne Cup. Without a Fight for Anthony and Sam Friedman, and it was the best decision for Mark Zara after changing with the winner Gold Trip last year. The pressure was on, and he's given it the most magnificent ride, defeating Sulcombe second, third number 14 Shiraz, fourth number 11 Ash Run, fifth number 12 Deshaun Sweet Jr., sixth number 22
Interpretation, but Without a Fight does the honours, and Mark Zara gets his second Melbourne Cup and goes back-to-back. Gold Trip last year, Without a Fight this year. Anthony Friedman has tasted cup success as part of the Friedman brothers, of course, but never won one with his son Sam. And Without a Fight is the 12th horse to complete the Caulfield Melbourne Cup double.
And what a ride it was. Unbelievable ride. He had that horse back in the field on the fence from barrier 16. Not only did he do that, he then tracked the right horses right throughout. He got it to the outside. It's one of the best big race rides you'll ever see from Mark Zara. He's given it the peach, and Without a Fight, he ran out the 3,200. A lot said he wouldn't stay. He stayed. I'll give you the tip. Sulcombe was outstanding after missing the jump 3 lengths. He rattled home. He's just got to fix those barrier manners. Shiraz run the race of his life at 3,200 metres, and there's a couple of others behind there. Deshaun Sweet Jr., I want to give him a mention. He just loves the 3,200 metres.
Without a Fight and Sulcombe were very close to each other in the run. Without a Fight gets the breaks, whereas Sulcombe struck plenty of traffic.
Yeah, exactly right, didn't he? At the top of the straight, you could see he was absolutely bolting, and that's what happens when you're on the inside. He draws low. He's a horse that would have loved to drawn out a little bit, but when he got clear late, you see that acceleration he's got. Maybe it's next year for him, but this is what it was about for Without a Fight. He came into this race last year as one of the big hopes. Unfortunately, it rained all morning. It put an end to his chances, but everything this year with the Friedman yard, he's been flying. It was his day today, and Mark Zara celebrates and looks to the sky.
Now we've seen who's run first, second, third. Let's look at them in the run. A full replay of the Melbourne Cup.
Run. Ready to go.